Hey yo, are you also struggling from stars in Rainbow Six Siege? So today I'm gonna show you like quick and real fix how to eliminate stars pretty much like from 90% of the times. So first of all, why the fuck stutters occur in basically any game? It's not a Rainbow Six Siege, it's any game. So if you're running your CPU and GPU on full load in a certain game, you're leaving no headroom for something like some intensive scenes that will like occur. Like for example, look, I'm walking here through this hallway, so scene is pretty repetitive. Like nothing's changing around me, nothing is happening. But if something like happens, like this dummy like appears like this, just start change moving on its own, right? Or something else like someone starts shooting or popping on your screen, that's when stutters will happen because your system doesn't have enough headroom um, to fucking process the upcoming information, right? And that's like that delay, that the stutter is the system like making adjustments to pretty much process the upcoming information, right? Changes that are happening, right? So the way that you eliminate that is pretty much this. You go here, go to display, and set your frame limiter. Always use frame limiter inside the game because those frame limiters are basically made to function the best with the game's engine to minimize or sometimes decrease the input latency that you will have with limited frame rate. And also, what you need to know is when you're limiting your frame rates, always limit it at least the same amount as your refresh rate. Never limit it below your refresh rate of your monitor, because you will experience something called screen tearing. That's pretty much ugly blur. Like yeah, just Google it and you'll see what the screen tearing is. It's pretty much ugly. You don't want that. Always limit to like your monitor's refresh rate or higher. Now, when you limit your frame rates, you're pretty much leaving the headroom in your CPU and GPU to process upcoming information, because it doesn't need to push the highest amount of frames, just needs to push that amount that you set. So when you do that, you're leaving a room for, I don't know, when someone pops on your screen and starts shooting, your GPU and CPU can easily process that, no problem. I've been running like this for pretty much 3 months, and on the start of this season, I never experienced any stutters. And when like opponents like started complaining like, oh my god, like fuck this game, I died because of stars, like what the fuck, man, there's no fucking stars, what are you talking about? And like I'm even running on older hardware. I'm running like RX Vega 64, man. That GPU is fucking old, bro. Like it's 9 years old. That's why I limit to 120 hertz and 120 FPS, even though my monitor is 144 hertz. And also one thing you need to know as well, if your monitor is above 144 hertz, your frame limiter, I believe the frame limiter in Siege goes only to 144. If your monitor is higher than 144, you can technically reduce to 144 hertz and limit frame rates. But I mean, if you like that's just not optimal, right? If you have higher refresh rate monitor like 240 hertz, you don't want to go to 144. You'll see a big difference there. But if your monitor is like 160 and like you need to go to 144, yeah, go with it. That's not that big of a difference. You won't see the like difference in movement and everything. But if your monitor is like, for example, 240 hertz, you can use like NVIDIA's and AMD's or like Riva Tuner that also works. but be aware you will add some latency. Like, I mean, we're talking again unnoticeable latency, like 5 to maybe 10 milliseconds top, right? Like if you put frame limiter close to your monitor refresh rate, the latency is almost like minimal, like 5 milliseconds. So yeah, that's pretty much how you fix the stutter. And that's not even for Rainbow Six, that's for any game. If you're experiencing stutters in pretty much like any game imaginable, limit your frame rates. First, use the in-game frame limiter. If the game doesn't have that, use the external frame limiter, but be aware that you will have the input latency. If you're playing like AAA single player game, you don't need to worry about input latency that much. If you're playing esports titles, then like that can be a problem sometimes, but usually you won't like see that 5 milliseconds latency. So yeah, until Ubisoft fixes it, and like they put a first patch, like small patch, and they said like next week they'll put like bigger patch. But if they don't fix it, running like this will pretty much prevent any stutters. If you want to have like no input latency, then just after they fix it, you can revert to no frame limiters and run it like that. If you don't want it, there you go. That's how you do it. So if this video was helpful to you, please, 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 please share with your friends. Um, like I don't know, whatever the fuck. Just yeah, help the brother out, move out of the trenches, and yeah, see you in the next video, guys. Bye.